Hi guys, Brian from Boas here. The 2021 boa breeding season is just around the corner, and today I want to show you some of my true red-tailed boa pairings that I have planned for the upcoming breeding season. If you want to stay on top of my breeding trials, as well as learn a lot about keeping and breeding boas in captivity, please be sure to subscribe to the Brian Boas YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming boa videos. For the upcoming 2021 locality boa breeding season, I have a record number of pairings that I'm going to plan on pairing up, about a dozen or so different pairings. And I'm doing a series of videos where I'm going to show you guys all of my expected breeding pairs. I did a video last week on my Suriname and Peruvian true red-tailed boa pairings, and today I want to show you my remaining true red-tailed boa pairings. This upcoming year will also be a record for the number of true red-tailed boa localities I'm going to attempt to breed, with a grand total of 5 different true red-tailed localities. So the Suriname and the Peru, which I showed you last time, I've been successful at. Today I'm going to show you the Guyana, which I've also bred in the past, as well as my Venezuela and my northern Brazil pairings, which I haven't bred in the past. And as you probably know, there's certainly a little bit of luck involved when breeding true red-tailed boas. If you followed my 2020 breeding year, I wasn't successful in breeding my Venezuelan true red-tails, which I hope to be successful this year. And of these 5 different localities, it would be awesome if I could get them all to breed, but if even some of them are successful, that's certainly going to be a great year in breeding. First off, I want to show you my Guyana Red-tail pairing. This is my female, and she's one of my larger and my more aggressive boas, which I'm being a little bit trepidatious here. But hopefully she won't draw blood today as she has in the past. But this is a female from the Eckert bloodline, and what I really like about this animal is she doesn't look like your typical Guyana/Suriname true red-tailed boa. She has these beautiful peak saddles and this gorgeous pinkish purplish coloration. And then, as you can see, she's got a very short tail, which is rather unique, but just a different look. As I mentioned, Mike Eckert bred this animal from his purple and golden Guyana bloodlines. I produced these animals a couple times in the past. I had 2 small litters. Last time was 2 years ago. And so I'm hopeful that she's going to breed again for me this year. And I might get a slightly larger litter. I think I only got like 3 babies each year in the past, but we'll have to see what happens in 2021. And this is the male Guyana that I'm going to pair her up with. So this guy's a little mellower than the female. He's probably about a foot or so shorter than the female, but still a decent sized adult male BCC. And you can see he's got similar saddle shape. I love the peak saddles on these guys, except his saddles overall are darker. His body color is also a little bit darker, more purpley grayish in color. And then his tail is longer than the female in terms of the number of saddles, but he's got this really beautiful, like maroonish dark brick red tail, not a bright red like a lot of the Surinames, but just this dark brick red tail. So it's a different kind of look. A lot of people like the bright color, so he's trying to get back here. Come on, guy. A lot of people love the bright colors, but I like variety. I like a lot of different looks in my true red-tailed boas, and I don't think the classic look is the only look or even the best look. And what I really love about this guy is he's got so many background markings and freckles and speckles and splotches of pigment between his saddles. Just a real wild look. And you can see how much speckling he has on his belly. He's got this really cool dark belly with kind of a pinkish purplish background color. And then his head has a lot of markings, these really cool eyelash markings. You know, definitely one of the more unusual colorations that I have in my true red-tailed boas. And so I'll pair this guy up with the female in a few months here. And fingers crossed we'll have some more of these wild looking Guyana boas available sometime in the summer or fall of 2021. The next true red-tail pairing is actually a repairing from 2020, and that's my Tamatama Venezuela true red-tails. So this is a very rare locality of true red-tailed boa, and they're from a small village called Tamatama that's at the confluence of the Orinoco and Casaquari rivers in southern Venezuela. This bloodline was established by Terry Cullen, and there are very few of them in captivity. They look superficially kind of similar to the Rio Bravo bloodline of Venezuelan true red tails, but also a little bit different. And they're a really cool boa. So this is the female. She's probably about 5.5 feet or so. She's put on maybe 8 to 12 inches this year. I paired her up with the male earlier, in 2020. These guys are now about 6 years old, and they look like they were interested. The male was definitely courting her and looked like he was at least attempting to copulate, if not to copulate. And they worked together for quite a while. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but sometimes, when you don't succeed, you got to try again, especially with true red tails. And I'm hopeful that this year I'll be more successful. And so these Venezuelan true red tails, they're definitely smaller than some of the others, like the Peru and Suriname true red tails. I don't think she's going to get much bigger than this. And then they have this beautiful golden brown coloration, this long kind of darkish red tail, and their head is also characteristic because it's shorter than other red tails. It's kind of more stocky, almost like a Colombian boa. But definitely a cool true locality boa, and I hope to produce some of these in 2021. And let me show you the male now. This is my male Tamatama Venezuela true red-tailed boa that I'm going to pair up with the female. So this guy is probably about a foot or so shorter than the female. You can see he's not really that big, maybe 4.5 or 5 feet. And overall he's similar in terms of coloration. He does have one difference. He's got peak saddles, whereas the female has more round saddles. But besides that, they're pretty similar in overall appearance. You can see his tail is kind of more of a darker red, not quite as bright as the Suriname. Kind of more like a Peruvian in terms of the tail color, as well as the body color definitely has that yellowish golden color similar to a Peruvian. But overall, just a really cool true red-tailed boa. And so, as I mentioned, these guys were not successful in 2020, but hopefully I will be successful this year and produce this rare true red-tailed boa from Venezuela. I have one more locality of true red-tailed boa that I plan to breed in 2021, and I'm really super excited about these. So this is my North Brazilian female. So this female is now a little over 5 years old. She was bred back in 2015 by Mike Weitzman of Basically Boas, and he used a number of different bloodlines in this project. If I remember correctly, he used a Basset animal that he crossed with a Dyer, Evans, and Renfro animal. So multiple great bloodlines. And looking at this animal, you can see some of the great things about the northern Brazilian red-tail locality. They just have this super cool kind of dirty look to them. You can see she's got these kind of asymmetrical peak saddles, and then lots of these background markings, a lot of like dashes and smudges and freckles and things like that. Just a really cool look. You can also see her belly has a lot of these freckling, and then this animal actually has a pretty long, kind of darker red tail. Some of the northern Brazilians actually have another pair from Vin Russo that has a really short tail, but this pair has this really nice, kind of long red tail. So the North Brazilians are a smaller true red tail locality. They don't get quite as big as the Peru or Suriname or Guyana. Typically about 6 or 7 feet. And so really looking forward to pairing up this female and hopefully producing some beautiful North Brazilian boas. This will be my first time attempting to breed the North Brazilian locality of true red-tailed boa. And the last animal I want to show you today is this North Brazilian male that I plan on pairing up with the female. So he's a little bit shorter than the female, maybe about a foot or so shorter. Overall, this guy has lighter background color, more of a beautiful creamy yellow color, and darker saddles with higher contrast. So just a beautiful looking animal. You can see his tail, like the female, is longer than most North Brazilian true red tails. And great animal. Looking forward to hopefully getting some beautiful North Brazilian red tail babies. I'll start the cycling process where I reduce the temperatures at night in about a month or so, sometime in mid to late November, and then I'm planning on pairing these animals up in late December. And if all things go as planned, The animals should deliver sometime in the summer or fall, typically between August and October for true red tails. Of course, any birth of a true red tail litter is a great event, and I'll be super happy if I get any baby true red tails. But if I'm successful at producing all 5 of these true red tails, that would be just a dream come true. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully luck will be on my side, and I'll get lots of beautiful baby red tails in 2021. As I mentioned, I plan on releasing a series of videos on my planned pairings for 2021, and I have quite a few non-Redtail Boa pairings in the works. So stay tuned in the next few weeks for a couple videos going over those animals. I hope this was helpful. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to shoot me a line. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your boas.